Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. I am Dren608, and this is the Thousand Year Reich series. If you like these videos, please hit the like button on them. It helps YouTube to whatever algorithms it uses. The more likes a video has, the more likely someone is to find it when they come searching for Unconditional Surrender videos. Also, if you like these videos and you want to see more and like them or in other games, please subscribe and leave me comments down below the video here, wherever that is. Okay, we will get started here. We are getting ready to go into August of 1944. The Axis did very well. They conquered England and collapsed Russia and all sorts of things. They at one point had 99 willpower. So I'm not sure. I think nobody declares war. We go into economies, which is Germany's not doing too badly. They're down 4. And it's 1944, so they've got like 38 points. They don't give any. The Russians have 48 points, and the British have 32. And the Americans, for unknown reasons, just go ahead and give. Gave a point to someone. Who did you give a point to? He knocked his points down, but I don't know who he gave a point to. Well, I'm not sure what he was doing there. Anyway, we're setting up the. Excuse me. We're setting up for the strategic warfare. The Soviets have +4 because he has 10 conquered countries, and he doesn't have an airplane in Norway, and I took away Basra, so he has no pluses against the Soviets. So I believe he plays his submarine against the Soviets. So we're halved. He rolled a 5. I rolled a 6 + 4 is a 5, so halved down to a 5 means that he will get his factory back here. Factory loss marker goes down 1. And then he rolls for his submarine. Will come back in 5 turns, so not for a while. Now he's at +3 because even though I hold Brest, he has this here. Corona is on Sea Zone 7, so he gets +2 for that, and +1 because he still holds Suez. And do we still have? I think he still has submarines here as well. Not sure if he plays them here. I'm +5 because I have all sorts of bomb markers all over Germany. I think I've taken them off. Actually, I was only +4 because I only had 2 bomb markers. He did not play his submarines. He was saving them. So he rolled a 4. 1 + 3. I rolled a 3 + 4 is a 7, and we didn't move it back up. He should have been moved back up to 4 lost factories. So he's basically treading water. He's in the same spot. So now he's strategically moving. I had made he's got basically a line of miners over here, so he's trying to get some real German armies over here to slow me down on my southern breakthrough that I managed to pull off. He also has 3 units out here that are going to go to no supply this turn. So strategically moves him there. West didn't have one, and then the east, I took the guy that was in Sevastopol and put him there because he could, if he spent 2 production points, this armor could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because he's half the movement, and he could have captured a factory on me, and I really don't need that to happen. Now, admittedly, he's going to see that he can actually have this guy run around and move my airplanes, and I'm like, that's okay, my airplanes will just fly to the front line, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to have to spend a sortie anyway to get to the front lines because I'm too far away from the combat, so it's kind of like if he wants to go ahead and move and spend some production points to let me, go ahead and move forward, I'll gladly just go ahead and take it. So, that was strategic movement, and now we're into Axis operations. And I believe, I don't know where he starts. He starts in the west. So first off, is get Spanish out of the way. because Spanish garrison's not going to hold any ground, really. Puts it behind the river just to make me spend, movement points to try and bust through him. And he takes the armor that's way far away. Does he? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he attacks the American. There. And so he's at +4. I'm at +3. 1 for American, 2 for armor. It's 2 for German, 2 for armor. He has 2 movement points left there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to attack. And I think we go to combat commitment, which was like, are we really having to think about this? I went ahead and sent the guy with 4 sorties, I believe. So I'm at -3, he's at -2 for the air combat. He rolled a 2, -2. If I rolled a 6, I could have gotten him for 2 sorties, but he didn't. I rolled a 5. So we each took a sortie, and then we add our airplanes into the combat. So he will be +6, and I will be +5. And then he rolls. He got a 2 +6 is an 8, and I rolled a 1 +5 is a 6, so I barely held. I seem to be doing that a lot. He attacked again, but I don't think he threw in his airplane this time because he only had 1 attack left. So he went he rolled a 5 +4 is a 9. I rolled a 3 +5 is an 8, so I stopped him. Then he moved this armored up 1, 2, 3, so he has 7 movement points left. And this, I think he throws his airplane in this time. Yeah. This time one of my 3-point airplanes is going, so I'm -2 to his -2. He rolled a 4, -3 is a 1. I rolled a 4, -2 is a 2, so I didn't get 2 sorties. We each took a sortie. Back to that +6. 2 +5. He rolled a 1. +6 is a 7. I rolled a 4. +5 is a 9, which is not enough to get an AS, so he gets to attack again. He comes at me at 4, and I think I throw the airplane again. He's +6 to... So he's 2 +4 is a 6. I'm 3 +5 is an 8. Again, I did not get an AS. So I throw the airplane one more time. He rolls a 5 +4 is a 9. I roll a 2 +5 is a 7. So that's just enough to hang on to the hex. It's very important that I hang on to this hex, because if he gets into this hex, he can pretty much bottle me up in the Brittany Peninsula, and I can't really go anywhere. I mean, I'm kind of messed up. So, and then he attacks one more time. 2 +4. I threw another... Did I throw an airplane at this point? No, I did not. I said this was his last attack. If he wants to stick himself there, I would still be able to... be able to do my counterattacks, whether it was 1 hex back or not. I was trying to save the aircraft for counterattacking, because I only have 1 left with 3 sorties. And he rolled a 2 +4 is a 6, and I rolled a 6 +3 is a 9. So... And that was that. And then he moves this infantry behind the lore. And now he's just moving infantry to make sure. I still have, I believe, I still have a surprise attack marker in my pocket. So he's like, well, no free flanking invasions here, none of that. So he put some infantry there. And then we went over and he goes, I'm making the Turk run away. I'm not going to let you kill it. And I was like, you're no fun. And then this was him showing me. He says, I can do this. I said, you want to spend the 2 points to send my aircraft to the front? Go right ahead. He's like, good point. Why should he spend production points to move me, right? He's got lots of things here on the track to build in his mobilization, so it's probably better that he doesn't do that. Anyway, and this was us. We were having troubles trying to select the unit, but he moves him. Basically, he moved him like this. He can move from here to here because this zone of control is not this zone of control. So that is a legal move to just move 1 space. And then he goes ahead, calls an assault there, I think. He forgot to put down the assault marker. The Italian attacked me at -1. I just went ahead and took it at 0. I wasn't going to play anything. He rolled a 6 -1 is a 5, and I rolled a 4, so nothing happened there. Puts this Turk behind the river. Brings the Italian behind the river. Yugoslav behind the river. Puts this guy on top of his airplane. He started to move him and said, wait a minute, I got a better move for this guy. I want to move this guy up there to try and protect it against any breakthroughs. And he's going to move this guy like this. Again, trying to contain any breakthroughs I might come up with. What's next? I think 3. Okay, now he's going to move. Oh, his airplane that's underneath this Yugoslav goes ahead and tries to get a 2-for-1 on me because he's -2. He throws his jets so that he's a 0. And I'm a -4, so he's trying to get a 2-for-1 here so that he gets ahead of the sortie game in the north. He rolled a 2, so he didn't get it. And he decided that he did not want to run me up to 6. Now he moves the armor. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he attacks the shock army. Shock army's at a +2. He's at a +3. I think we went to combat commitment. He did not, and I went ahead and threw my airplane in because I really wanted to hold that part of the Duna. I really didn't want to let him have maneuvering room if at all possible. So he's +3 to my +4. He rolled a 5 + 3 is an 8. I rolled a 6 + 4 is a 10. When you count the movement points, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he couldn't attack again. And then he goes and spends a point on the Vichy and says, get me behind the river and into the swamp. He moves this Yugoslav down here. This German goes into that mountain hex. The German that was... I'm not sure where he was at. Oh, he was there. Okay. He moves over to that river line, just trying to keep me from doing too much in the north. And I think he's going to move this garrison unit up here too. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He moved 8 here and 7 in the west. That was 15. He started at 37, and he's down to 10 and 6, I think. I moved 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm not sure where we're at here. Well, anyway, we were counting points. Oh, excuse me. Where was I? I should keep going here. So he brings this guy over, this guy over. He's really clogging up the northern routes. That's the shortest path to Germany, and it's 1944, and he's trying to make sure that I don't, get a quick breakthrough here. He's got lots of Germans to do that. And the Italians move back, and this guy moves back again, just trying to slow me down. Going to bring this Spaniard up here. and now I think he's in his supply subphase. He chose not to do that assault. These guys all go to no supply. He uses up. Did he only want? I think he only supplied this infantry unit here. He let everybody else go off of capitals to be limited supply. The Germans and the Italians. And then we go into the Western Action subphase. So I held my little Brittany Peninsula thingy. I thought about this a lot, and decided that I needed to do something here in the West. So I did. First off, I go ahead and let's see if I can get successful and break through to Baghdad. So I attack down here. I do have an airplane down here, and he does have a tanks marker. So we will be going to combat commitment. I committed, I threw in my airplane, so I'm +5, -1, +4 to +2. I roll a 9, he rolls a 5, so he's retreated. So I was like, yay, but I don't take the hex. And there's a reason why. I go ahead and move, because I have 10 movement points, I go ahead and move up to here, so I only have 6 now. And the reason why I do that is because if I attack him from here, if I get another DR, he can't retreat into Baghdad, because it's not a 1 hex space. And so that way I would be able to, even if I do it on my last attack, this guy here, this garrison unit, could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into Baghdad and capture a limited supply source for me. So that was the plan. So, and I believe we go. So I do this attack again. Oops, I hit back. I do this attack again. I run my airplane up. He's not committing the armor down here. He's saving it for Russia or the West or whatever, depending on what I can do there. So again, I'm at +4 to. Why am I only +2? Should have been +4. Should have been +4. Well, I screwed that up. I should have had one more attack. Because I used up the airplane. Did I? Did I miss an attack in here? So 9 to 5 was the retreat. Oh, there it is. 4 + 4 was an 8 to his 8, which didn't work. And then we did the last attack was only at +2, and it was 4 to 8, so it didn't work. So I did get my 3 attacks in. I just kind of missed one there. Sorry about that. Got a little confused. Onwards. And then I decided that it was time to run the bombers. He does have an Italian aircraft here that can intercept me. I don't remember if he does or not. It's like I'm going to Dusseldorf. Showed him his range. I said, you can whack me wherever. And he's like, I think he takes one shot at me. And he rolled a 1, so he didn't. And he says, I'm not going to attack you again. So I went in with 2 sorties there because attacking me with the 5 sortie was kind of pointless. Because he doesn't get 2 sorties out of me. And so then I flew, I believe it's the British now. He said, go ahead. So I let the British fly too. Then I flew the American in. Or no, I still. No, then this was I decided to attack that Italian from London. So I got a 6 because I was +1, -1 for sortie, +1 for British. He rolled a 6 minus 3, and I rolled a 6. So he took 2, I took 1. And then I think I fly last Brit in. Did I fly one for the Americans? Yeah, I flew one for the Americans. And he was like, no reason to go up to 6 sorties because I can't stop you. Actually, the German could have stopped me if he rolled a 6, but he's more worried about defending against invasions, I think. Okay, that takes care of bombing. Then I said, yeah, usually I like to keep it for another flanking invasion, but it's getting near the end of summer and I'm really not anywhere in France, so I figured I need to break out, push up to the Seine and the Loire so I can, if I'm lucky, I can get to the Somme Loire line by September. I mean, I'm just way behind the curve here. And that was where I wanted to put it. And then I went ahead and 3 hexes from airplanes. One, 2, 3. I went ahead and dropped the airdrop marker on him. And I said, let's go. I'm trying to get myself another port. So I go in there, I throw in an American airplane. +2. Should be +5. There we are. +6. Because of the surprise attack marker, I get +1. So I'm 1 for the American, 2 for armor, 2 for the airplane, and 1 for the surprise attack marker. It makes me +6 to his +2 because the airdrop marker makes him -2. And I rolled a 3 + 6 is a 9. He rolled a 1 + 2 is a 3, so he is retreated and flipped. Which was the flipped part was the important part, because then I get to attack him again, and I think I use another airplane. So I had a 3 + 6 was a 9. This time he rolled a 4, so he's only retreated. So I took it and I attacked. This was used another airplane to be, I used the bomber on one of these attacks. That's why I saved a sortie there, so I'd have an extra use of him. 2 + 6 was an 8. He rolled a 6 + 2 is an 8. So I'm chasing him around, but I'm not able to eliminate him. It's kind of funny looking, It's like he started here, and I flipped him and retreated him. I was like, yay! And then I retreated him, and then I did nothing. And I attack him again. I think at this time that's my last airplane. I rolled a 1 + 6 is a 7. Rolled a 2 + 2 is a 4, so he's retreated again. So he should retreat. Why did he? Oh, no, that's a 5. I thought that was a 4. Okay, so he didn't retreat. So now I can only attack him at +4 because I don't have any more airplanes. +4 to +2 is a 5. So a 10 to a 5 is a retreat. And I decided I was done. I wasn't going to stick myself out there in case I couldn't get anywhere. And I go ahead and move the British up. They have airplanes a lot to use. They have like four sorties on each of these aircraft. So these attacks are all going to be at +6 to his +4. So I attack at 4 + 6 is a 10, and he gets a 1, so that's a 5. But he cannot legally retreat because this guy got retreated into his space. If he hadn't retreated him into there, I could have moved the reason why he went there is to prevent isolation here. Because if he'd gone like say to here, or something like that, this guy could have moved 1 to here and would have had an isolated bonus on that armor. So he's trying to just hold me up. And a 10 to a 5 is a retreat, which he can't do, so he's forced to flip. And then now he's only +2. What am I doing? I'm trying to figure out why he keeps jumping like that. So now I'm throwing an airplane again. Now it's +6 to +2. I get an 8 to a 6, so he holds. And then I attack. Again, this time I get a 12 to his 8, so that eliminates him. So I got rid of a Panzer. Take the Hex. I think I attacked the next Panzer, or am I out of movement points? Yeah, I attack the Panzer one more time. I get a 12 to a 4, which is enough. If you look at the combat results table, 12 to 4 is where you get a DD. So I got rid of that Panzer as well. And I had a no enemy zone of control there, but I think I only had... Yeah, and I went ahead and said, no, I'm not leaving that Hex. I'm very happy there. Now the first armored goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, attacking the Italian with isolation, so that he is, and the surprise attack marker. So I'm 1 for American, 2 for armor, 1 for the surprise attack marker is 4, and then 5, 6 for being isolated, -1 for being a city. So I'm +5 to his 0. And I roll an 8. He rolls a 3. That is a DD, so the Italian is eliminated. I will take the Hex, and he flies that airplane up to Amsterdam. Take the Hex because, hey, it's another port. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I go 8, 9, 10. To try and push out towards the Seine and the Loire. He has some infantry here that he could, I mean, they're flipped over. So putting them in the front line might not be the sanest thing to do. Because with only one step, if I get a DD on them or a surrounded DR type thing, they would just go away and he'd have to rebuild them. So I'm not sure how he's going to defend all of this, but I'm sure he'll come up with something. And now this is a dumb move. I really shouldn't have bothered to put this convoy here. But so Med Fleet and convoy come out, and I have to stop and ask him if he wants to intercept. He says, nope, just keep going. So it's going to go... Oh, I'm hitting back. So it ends up out here where the first French army is, and we go each take a sortie. And then I think I bring the American army around to Nantes. And then I'm going to bring the British army, the 8th Army, comes across to start supporting the Canadians. He's going to come into Cherbourg. He chooses, I don't know if he chose to, no, he didn't choose to intercept there. American convoy goes off to Never Never Land, and then Patton and the 12th Fleet and this convoy all go into Brest. And I think I run one more sortie. Yeah, I ran one more sortie to just get that Italian all the way up. Because he's annoying. And I believe we are just about done here. Oh no, now I do my desperation attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I attack him with +1 to +2. I roll a 5. He rolls an 8. And that was the end of that. So that didn't work. Okay. So now I think we're into supply subphase. I let the airplane go to low supply. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to put it over in Europe and build it at the end of next turn so that when I'm getting to 1945, I will have literally God's own Air Force coming out of England. Yes, I'll be short a British Army, but at this point, I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I've kicked him out of Bosphorus so he doesn't get that +2. I really don't have time to go take that other port in Spain, the way things are going. So I have to make... basically, I have to drive on Germany because I have to take every city. He's got, if you look at his willpower, with all the armies that I've killed, he used to be at 99. So I've killed like 14 armies, and he's still just laughing at me with his willpower. I have to take every city in Germany. So I think we're going to be up here doing supply now. Why am I still down there? I believe that was my airdrop marker roll. Yeah. So it's coming back in January along with his submarines. So I'll have it for the summer 45 breakthrough thingy. Okay, so now I'm doing supply, and I don't think he intercepts me on any of these. He might intercept me on one of them. Can't remember. Nope. So where is the Soviet actions? So let's go scroll over to the Soviet Union. And heavens to Murgatroyd, I can't remember where I started. Okay, so what did I do here? So I flew an airplane to Odessa, and I flew against the German, and no matter what he gets, I mean, he can get great die roll. I only have one sortie to give. So I'm forcing him to take a sortie. Oops, page down. There we go. Then I fly another airplane into Kiev. Again, have to come to the front line anyway, and I'm just trying to take the German air out of the equation. Then I fly another air up here, just to this spot, and do the same thing to that German aircraft. So basically, the German aircraft are not going to be a factor here. And then I don't remember how I started. Just started with the armor. Moves down 1. Goes 2, 3, 4. Did the Italian. So he's +2 to 0. He goes ahead and throws his tank, so it's +2 to +2. I rolled a 6 plus 2 is an 8. He rolled a 4 plus 2 is a 6, so he held the hex. So I go down another 3 movement points. I should actually be down to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I should actually be at 3 movement points. I rolled a 6 plus 2 is an 8 again. He rolled a 5. This time he's forced to retreat. So he retreats into the city. And I thought about whether I should take it or not. And I said, yeah, I need to take the hex. And then I attack again. Again, +2 to 0. I get an 8 to a 2, so he's not only retreated, but he's also flipped. And I go ahead and take the city because it's a supply source. And next up, I was trying to think of what I should do, and I figured I'd go have the armored unit do its thing. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, +2 to 0. I'm trying to get him to use his tanks marker. He's not biting. So I rolled a 5 to a 5, and then I did it again. My last attack got an 8 to a 3, which is a DD. So that actually eliminates him. And I had 1 movement point, so I went ahead and moved back towards the front. And then I moved this infantry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Prevents him from railing anything into Riga or railing this guy out, for that matter. And did I go south now? So that got me back another factory. That was the important part there. I think I come to the south now. Now I'm going to try to break through here. So I come up here to take on this guy. So that I'm +2 to 0. Rolled a 7 to a 2, so he's DD'd. So I took it. Went ahead and moved up there to try and keep these. What this does is this traps. The German garrison's not so much the important thing, but the Italian army is trapped, which is, Italy is kind of fragile on its willpower. So I'm like, if I can kill off a couple more Italian armies, if I can get them down to like 4, then there's the threat of me doing silly invasions or taking a couple northern Italian cities and just knocking them out of the war. Since it's on my way to Berlin anyway. So that's what that's all about. Every maneuver unit he doesn't have is important to me. So now this tank's army just moves up and attacks here. He's at +1 to 0. I rolled a 1 +1, a 2. I'm like, well, he's going to stop me. And then he rolled a 1. So I actually got to attack a second time. And I rolled a 1 again. And he rolled a 4. So not a very good Russian tank army. And then this is my guards tank army. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I basically have 2 attacks. So I think I attacked the Yugoslav first, rolled a 5. He rolled a 6. And I said, well, now I'll attack the Italian. Rolled a 6, 4 + 2. He rolled a 3. He was nice. Get to retreat. And I said, yeah, no, I'm not going to take that hex. Because that allows me to move this guy here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go 6, 7 against the Italian at +1. And I throw in a tank to make it +3. So +3. And I rolled a 1. So I got a 4. He rolled a 1. So he was retreated. I went ahead and took the hex. Then I said, I'm going to attack again, throw another tanks marker. So there's 2 stacked here now. Where's my... Hello, mouse. Where'd you go? Come back here. I stacked them up because I was just doing the attacks. And I rolled again, another 1 to a 3. 1 + 3 is a 4. And he rolled a 4. If he'd have gotten a retreat there, he would have had to been flipped because he can't retreat into Romania because it's not conquered. So I was not a happy camper, to say the least, because, hey, I wanted to make the Italians pay, and they're not paying. It's not fun. Okay, so that one's done. Put those back on the turn track for September. We do have another fair weather turn coming in September, and the Russians will have a surprise attack marker at that point. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he defends himself. Who am I moving now? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's +3 to +2. I rolled a 5, he rolled a 6. I rolled a 6, he rolled an 8. So that didn't work. This guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then attacks the German that can't retreat in the city, because, hey, why not? And I called it an assault because I only got 1 attack. And he throws in his tanks, and I throw in my heavy artillery. When he saw the assault marker, he knew what I was going to do. He knew I was going to throw the heavy artillery, so he had to throw tanks to counter it. So I'm +3 to his +4. Why am I only +2? Oh, because it's -1 for the city. So I rolled a 2 + 2. Only got a 4. Can't hurt him. And he only rolled a 6, so he didn't flip me. So that was annoying, to say the least. Now I'm moving another guards army up here. No idea. Yeah, I think I went ahead and attacked the Yugoslav at 0 to 0. Oh no, I threw in my last tank. So I'm +2 to 0. I rolled a 5 + 2 is a 7, and he rolled a 1, so he was reduced and flipped and retreated. Now it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I had 1 more attack. So attack him at 0 to -2. Only rolled a 2. So I didn't get it. This is me counting real quick to make sure I have my production points right. Now I bring the shock army up for one last attempt to take Salvatore, or however that's pronounced. And then I said, no, wait, I'm not sure I want to do that. I think I want to do this. And I said, wait a minute, how far can I get? And it's like, nah, I can't. The problem is I need 4 movement points to do this. And it's 5 for the shock army, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for this one. So then I decided I would do this. What did I do? Where did he come from? 2747. So from here, I went 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. And what I'm trying to do is I need to get rid of this garrison unit so that this armored unit can come across the rail line for only 1 point instead of 2 coming across the river. Because then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I can go 7, 8, 9, 10 and attack the Yugoslav. So that's what all this shenanigans is all about. So I'm attacking it 0 to 0. I rolled a 6, he rolled a 6. So I attacked again. Rolled a 5, he rolled a 1. He can't retreat, so he's eliminated. I go ahead and take the hex. I'm going to keep that Italian bottled up. And then I can move this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We go after the Yugoslav. I probably should have called an assault here and went ahead and used the heavy artillery to ensure it, but it didn't. Because I do have another one, I think. Do I? Oh, no, I don't. That's right, there's some coming. So I'm attacking it like +1 because I'm a 0. So it's 0 to -2. Managed to roll a 6. He rolled a 6. -2 is a 4. So he's retreated. I was hoping he'd roll a little lower so I could eliminate that Yugoslav and take a will point off of him. But they just get to retreat. But I will take the city because, hey, it's a supply source. So I got a lot of Russians right here ready to try and bust across the Carpathian Mountains. Take out Romania maybe and I'm trying to turn the flank this way so that I get into southeastern Poland down here in this clear terrain. And this is a factory for me, so, he's got Germans here trying to shore up the line, but he's rapidly running out of time to stop me in the bad terrain. He may end up stopping me in the fair terrain, which is where I want to be in the winter because I can actually make a hex here and a hex there in fair terrain fairly easily with the Russians. Okay, what did we do next? Oops. Helps if you hit the right button. I'm hitting the N button rather than the page down button. So then I took this shock army and said I'm going to move up to the northern side, and I go ahead and take a pot shot because why not? +2 to +2, and I rolled a 7, he rolled a 5, so nothing happened. It stayed there. Then I think I went back north, and this was declared as an assault because I just said, hey, he's 1, and then +2, so that's 3 minus 1, so I'm a +2 to a +2. Or no, I'm a net plus, because I'm actually, this guy's 2. He adds 2 for that, it's 4, -1 for the forest. So I'm +3 to +2, trying to get a retreat. I rolled a 7. And he was nice enough to roll a 3, so he is retreated. And I go ahead and take the hex. Because now I'm kind of trying to bottle up again. I can't really kill them because I don't have the strength up here. What I'm trying to do is if I can cut them off from being able to easily maneuver, then it makes it harder for him to form a line. I mean, he's already got some face-down guys. He's going to have to spend points to flip them over to make them, not be fragile and losing will points and stuff. So, that's the idea here. So this guy goes ahead and says, let's see if we can make this Yugoslav that's -2 move. I'm +1 to him. I rolled a 6. He rolled a 4. -2 is a 2, so he's retreated. And I took the hex. And then I attacked him again. This time I'm at a 0, so I rolled a 3. And he rolled a 5. -2 is a 3. So then I attacked him again. He rolled a 4. I rolled a 4. He rolled a 4. -2 is a 2, so he's retreated. Retreated that way. I thought about taking the hex, and then I said, no, I'm just going to stay there. And I'm bringing that infantry down here to prevent an easy isolation, because he could have moved this infantry to here, and then with the armored, even going across the river, being isolated, he'd be like +6 -1, +5 to +1. Not a good thing. At least here I make him have to attack me here, which means I could use my tanks to defend myself or something, which also opens up the road to Riga. So he's this guy can't get away. As far as retreating, he's got to fight his way out of here somehow. And that's what that's all about. And then now we're into the no supply phase, and the Axis go, yay, I can get these guys back to build next turn. The British go, my airplane down here that used to be here is gone. When it jumps, it doesn't jump all the way to the corner for some reason. And why did he move my convoy? He's moving my convoys. I don't know what that was. Well, whatever it was. Soviets didn't remove anything. We go to replacements for the Axis, and he goes, replace my Turk, thank you, because, hey, they got points that they don't know what to do with. And then he goes and builds, he starts to build a Romania. It's like, not now, not now, you build in the build phase. And so he's flipping his infantry, I think, here. Did he flip his airplane? $26.16. That must be in the west. Is that this one? I'm not sure. Oh, that was the Italians. And then he also did his fleet rather than his convoy here. And I think that's because he does have a convoy sitting here with 4 sorties that he can just like drop into a port and keep supplying that guy in Iraq for quite a while without having to pay points for it. He's now made a decent. The Italians at only -1 sortie actually might have a chance to, intercept one of these supply runs for the Americans. So I understood why he did that. That makes sense. All right, what do we do next? So he flips over the guy that went to Calais, flips over the guy that went to Rotterdam, and then we go over to the east and flip the guy there, and we flip the guy there, and we flip the guy there. So now the German army is back. And he flips an up. So it brings this airplane in Amsterdam down. And I think that might have been it. Did he bring another airplane down? Yeah, and he brought down the airplane here in Aachen. So he's bringing his air force down to face the west and not in the east. And he has 8 production points left after he does all that. And this is me doing my, here go the Americans, because they just all get their sorties back. And then I go pay for the British. I think I did this one. Yeah. So I did those 2. Did that fleet. Did my airplanes in England here. And I think I'm pretty much done. I'm down to 1. So, yeah, that's it. I couldn't do this convoy too and get all my fleets straightened out, which was more important to me. We go to the Soviets. Soviets are kind of... Did I do the Soviets? Yeah. So I had saved enough to do 5 airplanes and realized I was actually going to build an airplane, not bring one down. So it's like, oops, kind of forgot about the fact that I had one in my production queue. That was from a turn ago when we had our airplanes. I had one like way back here in Rostov, and he had one like here that was cut off, and I had one in Rostov that was like miles from the front. And rather than spend 3 and then move to lose a sortie, I said, I'm just taking it off, wait a full turn, and I'll come back near the front line someplace with 4 sorties. So that's what that was all about. Okay, I think we are now we're through the replacements. No upgrades. The Soviets did have an upgrade on a tank. I had a guards tank. So I took off the tank that took Sarnati and made him a guards tank. Since this one did not do his job, he has to wait for the last guards tank mark. This guy did his job and took a city, so he gets to become guards. And now we go. Mobilization for the Axis. They have a ton of stuff that they are going to be building here. We just kind of stacked up the bombed markers out of his cities so he wouldn't have to deal with that. Puts one in Dusseldorf, and he put the armor. You see down here, put an armor down there in Metz. So he knows that he has. One thing he knows now is that I don't have a surprise attack marker to do a flank invasion. So like this infantry and this infantry can run down here and form like real lines. So, and then these flipped over guys can like form a second line if he wants. And he puts another infantry there. And so he put 3 units, an armored and 2 infantry in the west. It's an infantry in Königsberg, Danzig, and then Posen. And I really didn't understand the Danzig and Posen one. Well, Posen maybe. I thought the Danzig one probably should have gone here. So he can try to get, up to these river lines in Yugoslavia and stuff to form a line. Because he can't quite get to the Carpathians. I mean, he could rail something there, but that means it can't really do anything. I'll just go around it. So, and I did mention it to him. And he's like, yeah, we'll see. And he puts a garrison over at Dusseldorf. And he builds another Vichy garrison unit that I killed. Down there, builds a Romanian in Romania. And then we're into the West mobilization, which has me put... you see me put the surprise attack marker into December of 44. And the Soviets... The Soviets have stuff to build? Yeah. So I only had... it was 8 points or 7 points left or something. So I couldn't build everything, so it was like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the shock army was 8. So I left a real infantry unit on kind of hanging because I didn't. These were the more important things because they're going to take 2 turns to get to full. So here in September, they're not going to be very useful actually. But the airplane is like, I'm going to be persnickety and put it right at the front line, since he doesn't have any air down here to mess with it. And then these guys pretty much, they went to the north because that's where I don't have units. So I figured they need to kind of catch up to the line so that in October when we have poor weather or whatever, at least I have numbers of units to try and do assaults. So I think he's going to be okay. It just looks bad to him. I mean, it looks bad for the Germans, no doubt that they have issues, but the fact that they know that I have to take every city because he has such high willpower means the defense of Germany is a lot easier to accomplish. You don't have to like hang on to every city, you only have to hang on to the last one. So if it's untenable, you can go ahead and give up a city to form a proper line to prevent me from getting all of the cities. That's the advantage of taking out both England and Soviet Union. Even in collapse of Soviet Union, you usually have enough willpower that forces the Allies to have to take every city. So now we're just putting stuff on the card from the turn track here. The Russians got their surprise attack marker. British got their tanks and an ultra, free forces and an ultra. So I got a double ultra and a free forces in September. And then the Germans picked up their jets. Italians got their tanks. Germans got their surface action, their tanks, and then they got their SS Panzer and their paradrop. And then all the units that I knocked off, plus the ones that were out of supply, are going to come in for him. And then he rolls for the SS. Just roll for the 11th SS. He rolls a 5. And I rolled a pair of 3s for mine. So mine come in December and his comes in February. So he had really good luck with the variable entry early in the game. He kept getting things in 3 or less turns. And here at the end of the game, when he gets those really powerful units, he's been rolling 5s and 6s. So I don't know. I kind of like the variable entry, but by the same token, it can actually swing the game even more than normal events in here. Because, if one side gets 4, 5s, and 6s, which I was getting early, the other side gets 1, 2s, and 3s, their army is much more effective in those early turns. Yeah, I don't know. It's a matter of taste. I don't think that I would. The uncertainty of it makes for a much more interesting game, but I'm not sure that I would play it all the time. Every once in a while and only if I know I'm going to play back to back. So, I played the first game as Germans with variable entry. He played the second game with Germans with a variable entry. That way, if you know you're going to play your opponent back to back, using variable entry is okay because you've got 2 games to see how it pans out. I think playing with just the historical entry points is good enough. I mean, and it's less stress on you to worry about what's going to come in at variable entry and stuff like that. So we get rid of that, put that there. We know what the weather's going to be, so we're going to end it here, I believe. We're putting our stuff in. Oh, we forgot to build the American 9th Army that he had killed last turn. And then we put stuff in the... What are we doing? So now we're putting stuff in the box here. So he had... he'll have 2 regular infantry. Well, one's the paragroup, but so that's an elite infantry, but he'll have basically 2 points of infantry, 2 points of a mobile. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points worth of garrisons, 3 points for an aircraft. And then for tanks, he's got like 3 tanks and an SS to build, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. He's got 20 points of Germans to build. And he's got some Italians and Romanians and Turks, or not Turks, but Yugoslavian garrisons, which are, he may have to build just to slow me, just to put him out there as speed bumps to make me spend movement points. And in the British next turn, we'll be building this aircraft, of course, back in England. I don't think they'll have enough points to build Force H in September, but so. And then the American convoys and fleet here can bring in the 9th. And they will relieve the 12th and the 2nd convoy because they have too many sorties. I probably will do a swapper with the home fleet and 2nd convoy and med fleet because they only have 1 sortie each. So they have, minimum sorties in here, 1 sortie each on of them. And I'm going to be supporting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units, 7 ground units. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll be supporting 8 ground units on 3 convoys. So I'm really hoping to try and figure out some way to break through and grab, another port, whether it's Bordeaux, or maybe I can get lucky and push up on Le Havre. This is my last free fair weather turn here, so I've got to get the British doing the attacks in the north because they have more sorties to attack up along the coast coming out of England. The Americans don't have a lot of sorties because they're going to have to fly to become effective. So, I mean, I've only probably got 3 sorties with the Americans, so we're not looking at a huge breakout here. It's more like if I can get one breakthrough between the British and the Americans to make a whole, then the rest of the Americans are just going to like run around and capture stuff, is the idea. We'll see how it works. Anyway, so that should be the end. So, as always, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button so algorithms in YouTube will keep it up on YouTube for everybody else to find. And as always, stay safe and bye-bye.